Breaking news.
The Chicago Bears trade for center Garrett Bradbury, formerly known the starting center for the Super Bowl New England Patriots. We're going to talk about all that and more and some coming your way right after this. Hit my music, please. Yeah. If you're here right now, then you're definitely in the right place. Welcome, my friends, to the pin zone, the bin zone, the shin zone, the nin zone. Shut your pin on it up, boy. Welcome to the pin zone, man. I am your host, Pin. This is the Hallis Huddle edition from the Pin Zone, where we talk all Bears all the time. Yes, we do. We have a lot of stuff in store for you guys today. What's going on, chat? What is good? He said, Ben. Uzi, you ready to get at me right now, boy? You ready to get at me right now? What's good with you? Hope all is well with you, Uzi. Glad to be here, and I'm glad that you're here with your boy. You've come to the right place. Welcome again. I'm really excited. I need to slow down my pace and my breathing. Holy shnikings. But without further ado, let's get to it. He said, Clint, now you trolling, dog. Now you trolling me, man. Let's talk about the first thing, man, and that's the welcome. Welcome to the Pin Zone. But we're going to start off with Tremaine Edmunds has been officially released from the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears posting on their social media. Thank you, Tremaine Edmunds, for your few years here in Chicago. He did a lot of great things. He's going to continue to do a lot of great things. He is a top tier linebacker when healthy, and we are going to miss him. Unfortunately, we cannot afford him anymore. I'm not going to spend too much time on Tremaine Edmunds because I did speak on this on a previous live and a couple shorts as well too. So Tremaine Edmunds, salute to you. Thank you again for representing Chicago. And this is going to be for Tremaine because this is what he brought to Chicago. What was it? Hey, yo, if you don't know, this Chicago. And now you know, man. A lot of people are like, this Chicago. It's Chicago. This Chicago, y'all. So big shout out to Tremaine Edmunds. I wish him nothing but the best with his future endeavors, man. Real talk. But we do got some breaking news going on. The Bears did make a trade today. All right. The Chicago Bears officially has traded next year's 5th round pick for Garrett Bradbury. All right. I'm not going to lie to you guys. When I saw this became like, it was extremely underwhelming. I ain't going to hold you, right? It's extremely underwhelming, but it makes a lot of sense on the actual direction the Bears will be going in this offseason, right? So Garrett Bradbury is not going to be the answer at center. You know, this is definitely a downgrade version from Drew Dalton, but this is going to leave room for the NFL draft. The Bears are going to be looking at drafting a center in this upcoming draft. Now that they have 2 second-round draft picks, one of them might go to a center in the draft. I'm thinking, I don't know his name. I should have done more research for you guys. If you guys know in the comment section, let me know. But he is the center from the University of Iowa. And he's one of the top centers in the draft currently, but he's not NFL ready just yet. He needs to homegrown to skill in, which is why Garrett Bradbury is in play right now. He's going to have competition with Luke Newsome to try to get that starting job in the beginning of the year. And hopefully that second round pick, similar what they did with Trapillo, comes in around week 8, week 9, and week 10 and takes over the starting role under center, leading the offensive line for the Chicago Bears. It looks like that's going to be the direction. Very underwhelming, but when I was really processing it and really thinking about it, I'm like, it makes sense, though. It makes sense in the direction. They're not going to splash big money on center, and I didn't want them to splash big money on center. I ain't going to lie to you. We have some money. We can use it for the right pieces, the right players for the right positions, rather than just taking that money we lost at center and just upgrading it that position without filling the holes that need to be filled. I think the big holes that need to be filled, again, defensive end, left tackle. Those are the biggest holes that need to be filled. So with the money that you opened up, that's where the money has to go to, those two positions, D end and left tackle. So is this an exciting, oh my God, Bradbury is a Bear? Not necessarily. It's okay. You know what I mean? It's not the most exciting thing. It is what it is at the end of the day. All right. It is what it is at the end of the day. I don't mind it. This is a good direction for the future. I don't expect him to start the whole year, but he did start 17 games with New England. So he does have that veteran experience, that Super Bowl caliber experience. Plus, he was a teammate of Joe Tooney, who is our left guard and the best blocker in the National Football League in college at NC State. So they're going to team up again. They already got some type of chemistry. So we'll see how it translates to the NFL. Maybe he'll surprise people and show off, but he's not a top tier guy. He's just a guy. He's just a guy in the room. You know what I mean? That's pretty much what he's going to be. We'll see how coaches change everything or whatnot. And hopefully this is a good signing for the Bears, but it's not nothing like I'm so excited. I can't wait for the Bears season because Garrett Bradbury is under center. It's like, he's the center. You know, he's the guy. He's going to be the guy. In other news as well, too, that we got for you, we got some eyeing, bro. The Bears are eyeing left tackle Taylor Decker. If you guys do not know who Taylor Decker is, let me talk to you about Taylor Decker. See, Taylor Decker has been with the Detroit Lions since he got drafted there in 2016. He is a former Pro Bowler, and he was under Ben Johnson's system for 3 straight years when Ben Johnson was the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. This is somebody the Bears are going to keep an eye on, that they don't have to pay a crazy amount of money. This is exactly the right fit, the right guy for the job for Chicago, and the right price. So keep an eye out. This is your boy saying it first before anybody. Before anybody out there on Fox, before anybody on ESPN, before anybody is anybody. You know what I mean? This is just me just putting some pieces to the puzzle together. But the Bears, I know for sure they are eyeing Taylor Decker in free agency, and don't be surprised that a deal gets done and he comes to Ben Johnson's offense yet again. It'll be a perfect fit for Chicago, and it'll definitely take away that hole that we're missing at left tackle. So this is a good draft pick. I'm excited. Not draft pick. This is a good free agent signing. If it happens, if it comes to fruition, just keep your eyes on it. And if you don't know who Taylor Decker is, he's a dog in the trenches. He's someone that's going to fit right in with this offensive line. Definitely looking forward to him and his next chapter of his career, and hopefully that'll be with the Chicago Bears. But there are multiple teams looking at him. He is a money-friendly left tackle. He's 32 years old, so he's not going to get paid 25 million. He's probably going to be looking at between 15 and 18 million, maybe even less than that. Very doable money that the Bears can afford, and it'll be a great fit because he already got chemistry with this offense since he was a player for Coach Ben Johnson in Detroit. Now, I do have a little fantasy booking thing I want to go real quick. All right, bear with me, guys. There is a little topic I wanted to bring up for everybody, and you can join me in the chat as well, too. This is my Chicago Bears dream signing for this offseason. I want to know in the chat right now, what do you guys want the Bears to sign? If you can pick 1 to 2 players that this is I dream about, I think about it all the time, I need the Bears to lock in and get this guy, who would those 2 to 3 people be, or even if it's just 1? Let me know in the comment section below. For me personally, I got a name. Yes, I do. I got a name. How about you? Here's a couple names that come into mind right here. Mr. Trey Hendrickson, the all-pro pass rusher, former leader in the NFL of sacks in a season. That year, he had 19.5 sacks in one season. Last year, a little bit injured, missed a few games. wasn't his full self. He does have a injury history, but Trey Hendrickson would be perfect, a perfect fit that will fit the exact hole that is missing on that defensive line for Chicago. You draft him, or you assign him, and then in the draft you go after the center from Iowa. You go after defensive linemen in the interior players and the linemen, the three technique players. We need that, and then maybe go after linebacker and safety after that. Speaking of safety, Kevin Byard is another dream signee that I would love the Bears to re-sign. Former Pro Bowler, led the NFL in interceptions last season. I believe he had 7, maybe 8, but I believe he had 7. But Kevin Byard, a dog. Everyone who's been in Chicago fell in love with Kevin Byard to the point where we rather have Kevin Byard than Jaquan Brisker. We love Brisker, though. That's not knocking Brisker one bit. That's just saying Kevin Byard showed out. He has a little bit more in age. He's going to be cheaper, but he's going to be way more productive than what Brisker could bring to the table. Good tackler. He's good at coverage. He's a ball hawk. He's going to go after the ball and get those interceptions. He kind of reminds me of Mike Brown when he played for the Bears decades ago. You feel me? So this is this is a dream of mine. All right. A dream of mine. Can my dreams come true? I'm not asking for something crazy here in Chicago. I'm not asking for Max Crosby, even though I don't think that's going to happen anymore. Rumors are swirling, though. The Bears have offered some deals to the Raiders, same as other teams like the Cowboys, like the Eagles, and a few other squads who asked the Raiders and sent offers for Max Crosby. I just don't feel comfortable spending $30 million a season on one player that's coming off a torn meniscus. He's a great player, but plus we got to add 2. They want 2 first rounders. I'm not giving up draft capital. I ain't going to lie to you. We are close to a Super Bowl in Chicago. I'm not giving up 2 first round picks for Max Crosby. I'll give one now, maybe next year's. I'll give one of the second rounders we got. But that's pretty much all I'm willing to give up because I'm taking $30 million for this season. And he still has like 3-4 years in his contract. So I don't think Max Crosby is the solution. Why go after Max Crosby and put all that money into that one position when you can sign Trey Hendrickson and still have money left over to fill in the holes on this roster? I'm just saying. You feel me? You feel me? All right. The big news for the day, though. Before we get into the big news, let me go back to Garrett Bradbury. Let me show you what I was talking about with him. All right. Let's bring it up in the big screen right here. All right. These are his PFF numbers. He was 30th out of 40 centers this season at 60.1% grade. For pass blocking grade, he was 23rd out of 40. So he's in the C's, you know what I mean? Run block, he's 35 out of 40. You know what I mean? Like, he's just a guy. He's not going to impress you. He's not going to be the leader of the room. He's just a guy that could fit a system. I'm just going to make that clear. If anyone's like super excited about Garrett Bradbury, we found our center to the future, you don't know ball. I'm just going to keep it a buck. This is not a trade that's like, yes, the line is set. This is something that is setting up something for the future. I still think the Bears will go after the center from Iowa and really complete this offensive line that we need to pretty much figure out. Now, going to the next thing we're going to be talking about here, we're going to be talking about the Rooney Rule. I know a lot of people don't know too much and are not familiar with the Rooney Rule, so I'll explain that for you guys. See, the Bears lost their assistant GM, Ian Cunningham. He got signed by the Atlanta Falcons to become their general manager of the Atlanta Falcons. But since he is a minority, which he's not white, he's African American, there's a rule called the Rooney Rule. If you train a minority in your team and they get signed by a different team to be a GM, the NFL gives 2 third-round picks for that transaction. So the Bears are supposed to get 2 third-round draft picks, But the NFL did not give the Bears those 2 third-round draft picks for some reason. They said because when Matt Ryan, who is pretty much the president of the Falcons right now, he stated that he's going to be making a lot of decisions when it comes to the team personnel for this organization. And then he went back again and he talked about how Ian Cunningham, he's going to make most of the decisions. But because he said he's going to make some of the decisions, the NFL's like, well, that's not really a full GM. So we're not going to give the Bears those 2 third-round picks. Me, I'm like, the audacity of the NFL. Like, you don't want us to be great. Hey, we brought him up. We trained him to the point where he got a general manager job for a different team. And he's a minority. Give us that 3rd-round pick. And to break it down a little bit more, Courtney, I don't know her last name. Courtney Cullen, I don't know her name. She works for ESPN, though. I'm sure you guys seen her if you watch SportsCenter or NFL Live or whatever. She was on Cap and Jay Hood on ESPN Radio. And Cap asked her a question about this Rooney Rule, if the Bears can get those 2 third-round picks. Let's take a listen to see what she had to say about all that. So give me 1 second, guys. Let's set this up the right way. I'm going to put myself down here. We're going to cap lock this, and let's take a listen to Courtney and see Courtney Cronin, and let's see what her response was to that question.
So we'll should know honestly, like early next week, because usually those 3rd-round comp picks are given out at the start of the league year. And I don't know, the Bears made it sound like it's been radio silence from the league on their end, that they haven't heard anything when we talked 2 weeks ago. But this is what we were talking about when this whole thing initially broke, that yes, the league, that there's no precedent for, what's the word I'm looking for here? Like there's no precedent for appealing for it because this doesn't typically happen. But if you're loud enough in the right places, and the right voices are the ones speaking, then the league's going to listen. And they have formally appealed in their own way, their own process of doing it, but we just don't know yet. I would imagine by the end of next week, I think we'll know. I think we'll know because that is when typically those comp picks come out, that the league will send out an email to everybody, and then we'll find out. I mean, but at this point, they've both made a pretty compelling case that they deserve their pick for this year, their pick for next year.
Do you think they get it if you're a betting person?
Yeah, I actually do, because like the precedent here, and the other front offices have dealt with this too, with like the structure and what, like, you know, the power structure of who's actually making the football decisions. Like anytime Matt Ryan gets in front of a microphone, he's saying, I'm not the final say in personnel. That's Ian Cunningham. So it feels counterintuitive to the NFL's policy of the Rooney Rule and the progress for minority candidates. You develop them one place, they go somewhere else, they get their draft picks for the team that they left. Like, that feels like it's not in spirit of the rule if the Bears don't get their picks.
All right. So pretty much what she was saying overall is that she thinks the Bears will get those draft compensations, a 3rd-rounder this year and a 3rd-rounder next year because of Ian Cunningham signing with the Falcons as a GM. When I was looking at research, it said that once the NFL says it, it's final and they can't go back into changing their minds. I read something like that. I wasn't fully I don't know if I believed it or not. And I hope to God it's not true. But let's be fair, NFL. All right. We followed the Rooney rules. We did it the right way. You guys, and when I say you guys, I mean the Atlanta Falcons, they took our assistant GM and made him a GM. They promoted him. I'm good with all that. All right. But you owe us. You owe us 2 third-round draft picks. We need one this year and one for next year. And I think that needs to get done. Now, she says they're going to have a hearing, and we should find out next week if it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but we shall see. Has that ever happened with other teams? It's happened before. All right. It's happened before, but I don't have the examples off the top of my head, but this Rooney Rule this ain't the first time that it's happening. But when a assistant GM or someone gets drafted who's a minority, or not drafted, but signed as a GM, teams were given 2 third-round picks, this year's and next year's. So I don't know why they're not doing it with the Bears. It makes no sense to me. Foster, what's good, man? Welcome to the stream. He said, thought she said they weren't getting them. Well, everything changed today. Now she's saying they're waiting on the email. NFL has been ghost silent with this situation. And now we're waiting on an email that the NFL would make their final decision. They better give us these picks, though. It doesn't make sense why we don't get it. Ian Cunningham's the GM, and he's going to build a team in Atlanta. And hey, real talk, he's going to do a really good job. Ryan Poles leaned heavy on him when it came to the draft, leaned heavy on him and his resources to figure out how they want to build this roster. I believe in Ian Cunningham. I think it's a great fit for the Atlanta Falcons, who already have some solid stars, not just players. They have some solid stars on their team. So the least the NFL could do is oblige by their rules and go ahead and give us those third round picks. I ain't gonna lie to you. So is it because Matt Ryan became the top executive for the Falcons? That's not the reason why. It's because when he was introduced, Ian Cunningham, Matt Ryan said he's still gonna have a say with the roster. So the NFL took that as he's gonna have the last say for rosters, which means he's technically the GM, not Ian Cunningham. But then Matt Ryan came out and talked about, I'm not going to have the last say. The last say for our team, our organization, is going to come down to Ian Cunningham because that's his job, not mine. So they're definitely going to work together, and we need justice. You know what I'm saying? Last week, Courtney said she's not going to, or the Bears are not going to get those draft picks. Everything switched up. Now she's saying they might get them, and she feels like they will get them. This was from today, earlier this morning, around 6:30, 7 o'clock a.m. when Courtney Cronin went on ESPN and we talked about it. So we got to figure this out. He said, yeah, it's like the head of football team. Yeah, pretty much, bro. Pretty much. And that needs to be addressed quickly. Hopefully by Monday or Tuesday, we get a talk and we get an email and it says the Bears do receive those 2 third-round picks, one for this year and one for next year. If we get a second, third-round pick, and we'll have 5 draft picks in day 1 and day 2, that's going to be massive for this Bears team because third-round draft picks should be starters in this league. All right. Eventually, I'm not saying they might be day 1 starters, but they will eventually start that season they got drafted. You saw it with Ozzie. You saw it with Luther Burden. You saw it with Colston Loveland. And you even saw it with Turner, who's our defensive lineman. Unfortunately, though, he got injured and we didn't really see much after that torn ACL. So that needs to be addressed so we can have that extra compensation for the draft and exactly what the Bears need so we can build a Super Bowl caliber team. I am looking forward to this offseason and to next year as the Bears. I can't wait to see the games again, man. Really looking forward to it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hey, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any lives, any shorts, any videos that are dropped here in the Pin Zone Hallis Huddle Edition. I'm your host, Pin. I thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll say it one more time and do it the right way because I always forget. All right. Be sure. Here's the thank you. Mwah, thank you guys. All right. Make sure you hit that like if you're on Facebook. Follow me so you get all the juicy deets. Like and subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Turn on notifications, all that good stuff so you don't miss any breaking news here at the Pin Zone. I'm giving all the information all off season long about the Chicago Bears, their roster, them building a state-of-the-art football stadium, whether it's going to be in Indiana or Arlington Heights. Most likely Arlington Heights, I'm just saying. And we'll go from there. I'm giving you all the news. We even talk more than just football, just Bears here. We do break down a lot of stuff with baseball, a lot of stuff with the Chicago Cubs, World Series Classic, or the World Championship Classic, World Baseball Classic. We talk boxing. We're going to be talking MMA here shortly as well, too. Once the White House card is officially announced, I'll be breaking it down, the UFC as well, too, and a lot more topics at hand here at the Pin Zone. So I thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me know in the comment section down below if you had a dream signing this free agency, who would those 2 signings be for the Chicago Bears? Mine, Trey Hendrickson, and Kevin Byard III. What's yours? I'm very curious to know in the comment section down below. That's all for what I got for today, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. This, my friends, is Penn at the Penn Zone. You guys take care. I'll see you hopefully tomorrow. One love, you guys. You know this. Bye-bye.